Hi, it's Lily Amanda for Portrait Creatives. In this video, we are going to talk about layers. Layers concept, it can be a little bit abstract to some people. So I'm going to show you the way how I learned it. I remember when I was young, we were living very close to my grandma's, and one of my aunts, she was an art college student. So in her bedroom, there are plenty of art objects like her homework, little sculptures, and drawings lying around everywhere. I was always curious, sneak into her bedroom to hang out to see what she was doing. And one night, I remember she called me over and she showed me a stack of transparent sheets. They were Mickey Mouse cartoon drawings. And when she flipped very quick, there was animation. I was so amazed by the effect, and I thought my aunt was a genius to create something like this. And those transparent sheets, when she was moving really fast, I can see the characters moving and doing stuff. It was just something amazing for me. And I was about 6 or 7 years old before I go to school. So for me, that was magic. After that, when I just started to use Photoshop, that layer concept, I just get it straight away. So now I recreate the concept I learned from my auntie. And I want to show you how that actually works with some transparent sheets that I prepared for you. I'm going to use my phone to show you the different angle. This is just a simple concept I want to share with you. I don't know if you have played paper doll before, because when I was little, paper doll was a thing. We were crazy about them. And I just found this in the shop, and I find this easier for me to explain. Let's have a look at the background layer. The background layer, just a solid color yellow. And then the next layer is the little girl. And then we're gonna give her some gloves and some shoes. She looks super cute. And then this is holiday sticker I bought in Orlando. And we give her the hat and a palm tree. So this is the idea of the layering, and it has to be layered like this to make sense. And then in another clip, I'm going to show you what happens if we just move the layers around. So what if I take the sheet with the hat and put it in the back of the girl? That's what happened. You will see the hat is in the back of the girl, and it doesn't really make sense. And it's the same goes with other layers. Like if I move, for example, her gloves to the back of the girl, she doesn't look like she's wearing gloves. That looks very strange. So that's what happened when you move the layer around. What if I move the background layer to the front? Just cover everything, right? That's the same in Photoshop. If someone asks, why use a new layer, blank layer, for making adjustments? You see that I did a lot in the tutorials. I always add a new layer. So I'm just gonna add a new sheet, a new layer on top of it, and I will show you why. I'm just going to doodle something on this new layer, blank layer. Maybe I just say happy holiday, and after I wrote it, I feel like, okay, I don't really like it, so I just remove it. I just can delete it without affecting all the images. That's why we use a new layer, because you're not affecting anything below. That just layer, basically how it all works. And all the layers have the same size because using the same canvas in Photoshop, it's all the same size. In Photoshop, there is a function called Flatten image. What's that mean? Flatten image means I glue all these sheets with super glue, flatten it down, become one sheet. And once you do that with super glue, you know what happens if you use super glue, right? That means there's no turning back. Once you glue them down together, they're just one image. You cannot separate them again. So that's called flatten. That's super glue. So what about merge visible layers? So merge visible is very much like you go into photocopy this image and put it on top of all the layers. So that's called merge visible. So I'm going to take you to Photoshop to show you how exactly all this is all done inside Photoshop. In Photoshop, you will see this image is exactly the same like what I showed you on the transparent sheets. So let's have a look. The bottom layer.
So if I turn everything off, you will see the bottom layer is just the same as a solid color background. This is the girl. We put on some shoes for her and some gloves and a hat. That's the vacation stickers. And this is the palm tree. Why some layer is forward, some layer at the back? It has to be like this to make sense. For example, if I move the gloves to the back of the girl, you can see that doesn't make any sense, right? If I zoom in to show you. Okay, it doesn't make sense. She doesn't look like she wears gloves. And remember, in photos, it's 2D, it's all flat. And we have to try to imagine like some effect. If we apply on top of the image, it will show. If we apply at the back, it will not show. Okay, so what happened if I move the girl to the back of the background? Of course, it disappeared, right? Because it was covered by this background layer. Okay, so let me move her back and let me move the gloves back. As long as the gloves is on top of the girl, it shows correctly. And the same as the shoes. If I move it, and the shoes will look strange, right? It has to be on top of the girl to able to make sense. If you do something like this, it doesn't make any sense. I move the hat at the back of the girl. It has to be on top of the girl. When I add a new layer, I am not touching all these layers. I'm just doing something on the top. Let me just like happy holiday, right? I can just write random things here, whatever I want. It's on the top of the layer. So if I change my mind, I don't like what I just did, I can just remove it. I can move it to the bin and it just disappeared. So what happened if I, let's say example, I just write on the girl, okay? I just write something on the, like you don't like this writing anymore, like you want to change it maybe a week later, and then you will have a hard time to change it because it's not as simple as just remove the layer. Because, let me show you. Because these two are together at the same layer. After I save it, and the history won't be there anymore, so I cannot undo it. And if I want to remove it, I will have to manually use the clone stamp tool and use all sorts of tools trying to remove all this, and that's a hell of work. And we're trying to speed up our editing process, so whenever you do a new editing or skin retouch, anything, always use a new layer. That will save you tons of time when you change your mind.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And we will be creating more helpful tutorials, so make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out any. And I'll see you in the next video.